Hey, welcome to SGT Time with Sergeant Rod. I am Sergeant Rod, and I'm going to be looking at doing more of this flipped classroom version that you guys might be familiar with and assigning you notes for homework. The more I'm thinking about it, the more it makes sense to do notes through homework, considering that, we have at least about a quarter of the class that's virtual learning. It makes it pretty easy that, I can film a video like this and give the same video to all my classes and have all you guys watch the same video and take the same notes. And this way, I'm not having to play catch up thinking, well, I give these notes to this class, but I might have given a different set of notes to another class. So everyone's gonna get the same thing. And then when we're in class, then we can actually work on some sort of assignment. All right, and that's better because then I could help you guys as you work through that assignment. So for today is Wednesday, September 16th, the year 2020, which is the worst year of all of our lives. We're going to take notes in our journal, all right? Now, these notes might seem slightly off topic, but I promise you they're not. Normally, this would actually have been if in a normal year, this would have been the very first lesson I gave you guys. Because I think it sets the foundation for everything we learn afterwards. But this is not a normal year, and so when we started, there were a couple more important things I had to get through. But I'm circling back, and we're going to cover this. All right, so we're going to do a page in our journal that we are going to, I'm actually going to put it, in the digital interactive notebook, I'm going to put it in the very first thing called speed analysis, because like I said, this is normally the very first thing that I teach. But you guys just put it in your next available page. It's fine. But we are going to title the page Speed Analysis. All right. And that is an acronym. And I'm not going to bother trying to center that, even though it's slightly bothering me. Okay. So let's go over that acronym. There are 5 letters in the word speed. And we're going to go over what today we call the 5 strands of social studies. Now, as it says here, social studies is the study of human society. All right, I guess I should underline that, right? Because I got it in my journal, so I want you guys to put it in your journal. All right, social studies is the study of human society, right? This is the same social that you hear in social media or socialism, right? Or sociology class, or maybe someone's a social butterfly. When I was in middle school, we used to have dances, but we didn't call them dances, we called them socials, all right? So maybe someone's antisocial, maybe they're socially awkward, right? There's a million different ways you could use the word social, but they all refer to human society, all right? So geography is actually a social studies class, and so is history. History is a social studies class. So we say that social studies has many strands, right? The same way, astronomy is a science class and so is marine biology. The two sciences are completely different, right? Even though they're both part of science. So in the same way, we say that there are 5 strands to social studies that are all very different from each other. So let's look at each strand one at a time. All right. First strand is culture, which I think I've got right there. Oh, brilliant. Wait, how do I make this? No. I want to, oops. Okay, I guess I wasn't so brilliant because I'm messing up now. All right, culture, the way of life of people who share similar beliefs and customs. All right, now, if you guys have lived in Texas for a while, in 6th grade, this was your whole class. 6th grade was all about culture. All right. So in all of, the same way that this year is all about geography, 6th grade was all about culture. So, so you guys have always known really kind of about this. The way of life of people who share similar beliefs and customs. Right, and culture is divided into different parts. And if you're super extra and you want to copy these in your journal, right, the most important parts of culture are language and religion. Right? Whenever you think of culture, always think first of language, second of religion. Or if you want to think religion first and language second, that's fine also. But you cannot think about culture without thinking about those two, right? And we're actually going to have a whole unit over culture. That's how important it is in this class. It's going to take up, actually, it's the 3rd unit we learn, right? The unit we're on right now is population migration. We're going to switch to culture. Other parts of culture can include art, which would also be music, right? It could be architecture. That's cultural, right? Middle East has very different architecture than Europe. than the Caribbean. Maybe sports. Ooh, you know, along with music, I could have put art and music, I could have put dance. That's cultural. Traditions, right? Beliefs. Oops, I can't spell. Beliefs. These are, oh man. Okay, traditions, beliefs, customs, values. What about sports? Sports is cultural, right? American culture. There's that expression that says it's American as apple pie, or baseball, right? Baseball, they say, is America's pastime. Is that correct, though? I feel like America's favorite sport is football. But if you go to England, it's not their favorite sport. It's soccer. And if we were to go to India, it's cricket. If we went to the Philippines, it's basketball. So sports is cultural. Language. Ooh, I forgot one. Most important. Oh, no, not the most important. Religion and language is the most important. But food. Food is cultural. All right. So culture is one of our strands of social studies, right? We could see different pictures of culture, right? Beautiful. Look at that art. Okay. Next, government. All right. Government are going to be those people in society that have the authority to make law, enforce law, and interpret law. All right. Now, this is not a class you've had. This, like I said, culture you had in 6th grade, geography you have in 9th, government you will get in 12th grade. It is a semester-long course. And those who remember, right, the people in society that have the authority to make law, enforce law, and interpret law, those are your 3 branches right there. 3 branches, right? Legislative, make the law. Executive, enforce the law. And judicial, interpret the law. 3 branches. Oh, look, there's a picture of the 3 branches right there. Okay. Geography. All right, now I'm not gonna bother writing the oops, Control Z. Ha, that was funny. I'm not gonna bother writing the, Control Z. I am messing up all over the place here. Okay, last time I do this. I'm not gonna bother defining geography because we've talked about it so much. All right, but just know that geography is divided into 2, physical geography, right? That'd be your pre-AP world geography, and then our class is human geography. All right, and geographers, we love our maps. All right, next, economics. All right, a lot of people think that economics is just the study of money, but that would be too simple, right? Instead, I want you to think of economics as the study of how individuals make choices. Economics is the study of choices. Specifically, how individuals make choices about ways to use scarce resources to meet their needs and wants. The reason we tend to think about money is because all money does is it reveals people's choices, right? You have money, what are you going to spend it on? You're going to spend it on a $500 pair of Yeezys or a $10 pair of whatever shoes cost $10. I don't know. Maybe a $20 pair of Crocs, right? It's your choice because it's your money. And how you spend it says something about you. And it's not just on an individual level, but also on a societal level too, right? Should the U.S. be spending as much money on the military as we do? We spend more money than everyone else. And not just by a little, like by a lot, right? Should we spend more money on education? I don't know. What countries do spend money on education? Do they teach their kids better than we do? Right? Economics kind of gets to answer all this. And you will have that class in 12th grade as well. Your 12th grade year, the first semester or second, depending on how you do it. One is government, the next is economics. And our last one, oops, economists love their graphs. Our last is history, which we define as a record of past events. So you took history in 7th and 8th grade, your Texas and U.S. history. You're going to take it again next year, world history. You'll take it again in 11th grade for U.S. history, the second half of U.S. history, unless you guys are an A-push, which I encourage. Students tend to think of social studies as just being a study of history, but it's not. It's really the study of social studies touches on all 5 of these, all right? But because this is A-push, we're going to take it up a notch, all right? Okay, let me try and turn these. Goodness gracious, color black. Perfect, okay. So there you've got your 5 strands of social studies. And I guess I could have and maybe should have numbered them. Is that going to mess everything up? No. Okay, perfect. But here's the question everyone's been asking. I know you guys have been dying to know. Why do we call this speed analysis? All right? And I will tell you. Because I'm going to give you guys an acronym that will help you remember these. All right? And that acronym is SPEED. All right? So I'm going to rename some of these. Don't freak out. You can still keep the original name. In fact, I encourage you to not erase anything you've written so far. But I'm going to add to it. Culture can also go by the name, just straight up, social. All right? There's our S. If we're talking about, right, the social conditions of a place, we're talking about the culture of that place. All right? Government, we're going to give the name politics. So there's your S and there's your P. I'm making the word speed. All right? If we're talking about the politics of a place or the political system of a place, we are talking about government. All right? Geography, I'm going to nickname. Oh, yeah, sorry. I blanked out for a sec. Environment. Okay. If we're talking about geography, we're talking about the environment. All right. And economics, we're going to leave the E in economics alone, right? So there's your SPEE, and then there's history. Now, I'll be honest. In AP Human, we don't cover history that much. That doesn't mean that we won't cover it. It means we just do not cover it as much as the others. So you could just maybe put a little circle around that one. I can't do it here on this, but history is not part of speed, all right? Instead, I'm going to add a 6th one you guys don't know about. And that 6th one is, wait for it, demography, all right? So we can ignore, history is not going to be part of our speed analysis. But demography is. SPEED, social, political, environmental, economical, and demographical. Now, demography was one of your vocab words, though I think it might have been demographics. But it's the same thing, right? Geography is the study of the earth, and demography is the study of population. So demographers and demographics deals a lot with numbers, right? And statistics. How many people live here, right? What are their ages? What are their genders or their sexes? What are their races? What are their ethnicities? What is their national origin, right? There's a million different questions we can have about this, a population. And it always changes depending on the scale, all right? That is critical. Okay. So those who read the textbook, and I encourage it, beginning of chapter 2. Oh, this is taking too long. This is the beginning of chapter 2, right? Key quest. Oops, my bad. What just happened? No. Okay. It starts off. When geographers study population, they focus on the variability of demographic features and factors across space. That's a little complicated sentence, but demography is the study of population in general perspective. And population geographers work in tandem with demographers seeking answers to the problems posed by these variations. The concept of scale is crucial in this research because such variability occurs from region to region, country to country, and within individual countries themselves. So we always have to know what scale we're looking at, and the demography will tell us a lot. All right? I see that I have to end here in about 2 minutes. So just be aware, I don't know how to end this because the little thing disappeared where I'd click stop, but it's okay. All right. Tomorrow, I want you to take these notes tonight, right? Because tomorrow in class, we're going to go over something called the demographic transition model. All right. And the demographic transition model is one of the most important things we'll learn about all year. And in order to know it, you have to understand demographics and demography, right? When we look at the demographic transition model, we are talking about how a population changes, all right? And it goes through transitions from stage 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, all right? Now, if you don't know what happens in each of those stages, don't worry because we will go over it tomorrow. But for today, just know that in the future, when I talk about speed, I'm talking about social, right? Culture, politics, environment, economics, and demography, all right? and we're going to study all of them.